Hey everyone, welcome to day two of Math 133. So today is September 2nd, and we are going to be covering the chapter two project number one today. In addition to that, we have our lecture notes 2.3, 2.4. This one right here, 2.3 Google Sheet project. This one is information about like how to do some of the chapter two projects. We're going to have a couple of different chapter two projects that we're going to be doing together. So this kind of goes over how to do that. Okay. So just like we mentioned last time, the projects in the worksheets, we'll be doing those together. So today, we're going to do the chapter two project number one together. So at the end of the class today, you'll have it done and you'll be able to turn it in. So the lectures, those ones you'll do on your own time. Okay. So this one, by the way, 2.3 lecture notes. We missed one of the uh, um, one of the videos. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, part six is just a link right here. So we apologize for that. So make sure you watch all six parts of the 2.3 lecture notes. Okay. Um, okay. So another thing to bring up is for those of you who are in class today, you're on the Zoom, you're good to go. Or if you come on Thursday, you're good there. And you'll get your participation points. Okay. For those of you who are watching this on a video and you're not able to make it to the Zoom call, you're going to need to do the discussion board. The discussion board has not been posted yet, so I'll mark in remind. So pay attention to that. I'll be sending out an announcement once it's up. Okay. And you'll do the week two because there won't be a week one. So there'll be a week two discussion board that you'll need to fill out if you miss the Tuesday and the Thursday Zoom classes. Okay. Um, Other announcements. I think we're good on other announcements. Uh, does anybody have any questions? If there's any questions, let me know. You can either drop it in the chat or you can shoot me, or you can just unmute. Um, any questions about anything before we dive in today?
Have you put in any of the grades for like the survey thing?
I haven't done the grades for the survey thing yet. I did the grades for the lecture notes, but yeah, it'll probably say that you're missing your survey still. I'm going to work on that this week, so I hopefully that will go away for you. So I apologize for that. Okay, cool. So today we are going to be using StatCrunch. If you still haven't been able to get onto StatCrunch, you're still having issues accessing it, just follow along today, and then you'll be able to, once we're done with the project today, everyone else can drop off and we'll work on any issues you might have connecting to StatCrunch. We should be done a little early today, so around 7:30 for those of you who uh, are on StatCrunch will be done around 7:30. For those of you who still need access, we'll work on those issues. You can share your screen and we'll get those fixed. Okay. Um, so anyway, here we are in Canvas, and we are going to start by clicking on the chapter two project number one. And the worksheets are all going to be in the course pack, but most of the projects are going to be Google Sheets, Google Documents. And so right here, I have a link that's going to take me to a Google document. There's also a video if you want to watch how to do this project there, you can do that. But we're going to have this done by the end of this class today, so you're not going to need that video. But I'm going to click on that project and it's going to bring me to the Google document. Okay. Now, this Google document is the one for the entire class. You're not going to be able to edit it. So even if you click request edit access, we're not going to grant that because if you edit this document, then it's going to be edited for everybody. And so you'll have your name here and everyone's going to see your name. Okay. You need your own copy. So we're going to go to File, Make a Copy. Okay. You can name it whatever you like. It would really help me when we're grading if you put your name in here. So uh, just like that. So and this is fall 2025. Matt 133, chapter 2, project number 1. My name's Hopkins, so I put that in there. You can put your first name or whatever. It just makes it easier for grading. You don't have to do that. I can still figure out whose it is. So it's up to you. As far as what folder, this is the folder where all of the projects and things are for the class, but you're not going to be able to copy stuff there. So you're going to need to change your folder. If you just go to all locations, you can select My Drive, which would be your drive, but or you can put it someplace. So I have an actual folder for Math 133 Fall 2025, but you can put it in quote unquote My Drive. Just, you can put it wherever you want. Just hopefully put it somewhere where you'll be able to remember how to get to it. I mean, you probably won't need to get to it again, but if you ever did, it'd be good to know where it is. So anyway, so I renamed it, put it in whatever folder you like, and I'm gonna hit make a copy. And it'll open up in a new window. And here it is. Here's my copy. And I can actually edit this one. So I can put my name. There we go. What data set did I choose? So what we're going to do is we're going to do some graphs using StatCrunch. So find a publicly available data set on StatCrunch. Your data set needs to have at least 2 qualitative variables and 1 quantitative variable. Okay. What does qualitative data look like? What does qualitative mean? What would a collection of qualitative data look like? That's a question for you guys. You can drop it in the chat, or you can.
Identifiers that don't involve numbers,
Mhm.
or if they involve numbers, it can't be have math be able to be done with them.
Yeah, so it could have numbers, but doesn't have to. So it's numbers with no math. Yeah. So what usually a qualitative variable will look like is it's usually going to look like words. Okay. Um, okay. What about quantitative then? What's quantitative?
So just the opposite, anything that can be added up to create a graph of numbers that is actual meaningful that can be looked at later.
Exactly. So quantitative has to be numbers, okay? So if you have numbers, it might still be qualitative, but if you can do math with it, not just adding, but you can also, do greater than, less than, things like that. So if I look at this number and compare it to this other number, it might tell me that this thing is bigger, or it's faster, or it's stronger, whatever it is, taller. Okay. I can use those words when we're talking about quantitative variables. Okay. Okay, great. So uh, we're going to start by clicking on StatCrunch. And you don't have to actually click on it. You can just type in your address bar statcrunch.com, and then it'll bring you to this site. Okay. Now, some of this stuff is grayed out. Okay, so in the upper right where it says sign in or register, you're going to click on sign in or register, and you're going to put in the username that you selected for Pearson, which is going to be your JCC email. I know that some people were able to sign up using their personal email. That's fine, but it's whatever username you had selected, and the password for Pearson. Okay. Remember, you're going to need that password. Make sure that it's not something that you will easily forget, or make sure it's someplace that you'll be able to remember it for test day. Okay. So we're going to hit sign in, and then things will not be grayed out anymore. Okay. All right. I'm not going to click on this one though, because if I click here, it's going to open a blank spreadsheet for me. I'm going to click over here on the left. The second one down is data sets. Okay. And that one's actually not grayed out. So even if you don't have access to StatCrunch yet, if you click on data sets, you'll still be able to follow along part of the way. Um, so data sets is going to bring you here. And these are all public data sets that we can use for whatever, this project or for your own study. And there's all kinds of data in here. There's 5,000 pages, not 5,000 data sets, 5,000 pages of data. So there's a lot of data in here. Okay, so for our purposes, though, we need something with two qualitative columns and one quantitative. So most of the sports ones will work. Thanksgiving one will be fine. Superheroes, I know that one works. The car model one works. So you'll just click on one of them, whichever one. And if you want, you can go find something cool. Someone found like Fatal Encounters. That one works. Uh, Unfortunately, the wedding one doesn't work. But you also need to make sure that it's a big enough data set. So this one right here, professor salaries, I can see that the size, I'm looking at the kilobytes right here. The size of this one is huge. Superhero one is like 47,000 kilobytes. This professor salaries one is only 7,000 kilobytes. That's not very big. So that's not going to make a very good looking data set because if I scroll down on this, there's only 87 rows. Okay, so only 87 professors actually put their salary in here. So um, when I do my graphs or whatever, for, you know, it's not gonna, I guess that one looks fine, but it's not gonna work out for you. Okay. Um, so you need something that's reasonably big. So this one works like the World Cup one. Um, this one has, hundreds of rows, so that one's good. Uh, so you have to have a couple qualitative columns, so like the team or the position, those are good. And then you need one quantitative column, which would be numbers. So this one would work because like you have height and weight. So like if I compare these weights, I can say this person is heavier than this person. Okay. I could do birth year. I could say that this person is older or younger than this other person. Okay. I can't use jersey number. Jersey number is not quantitative. You can't do math on it. It's qualitative. Because like if I take this guy has jersey number 3 and then this guy has jersey number 22, what does that mean? Does that mean that the 22 player is better? No, it doesn't mean that. Is he faster? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Okay. You can't add these, right? You can't add the 3 and the 22. That gives you 25. Well, what does that mean? Is that no, that doesn't mean anything, right? So, um, yeah, definitely can't subtract them. So anyway, so there are other examples of numbers that would be qualitative, like zip code. So like if I'm in zip code 49277 and you're in zip code, 90210, does that mean that you're better? Well, I mean, no, so it doesn't mean anything. Maybe you're richer, I guess. Um, uh, Same thing with area code. You can't use area code for that for anything. Um, okay, so I'm gonna find one for myself because I like games. So I'm gonna look up what kind of game stuff we've got here. So, responses to video game survey. Oh, that's huge. Okay, I'm going to use that one. So, which means you guys can't. So the projects are going to give you the opportunity to work on your own data and work on something that's different. Okay, give you a chance to practice your skills. Okay, the worksheets we're all going to have the same answers. Okay, but for the projects, your answers are going to be different from mine. So I'm going to be using the video game survey one. You guys are going to need to pick a different one. Okay. I mean, you can pick the same one. Like if someone picks the Thanksgiving one and someone else also picks the Thanksgiving one, that's fine. Okay. But anyway, so what we need to do in our project is we want to know what data set was chosen. So we're going to paste the URL. We're going to paste the link. Okay. So you're going to go to your data set that you selected and you're going to just highlight what's in the address bar. And you're going to right click copy, or you can hit Control C, hold Control button and hit C. On a Mac, it's Command C. And then we're going to come over here to question number 2. We're going to right click and then paste, which is Control V, or on a Mac would be Command V. Okay. There it is. Okay. That way I'll be able to click on that link and or type it in my address bar and I'll be able to go and see what you're seeing. Okay. All right. That was easy. Number 3, choose a qualitative variable to make a bar chart. Which variable did you choose? Okay, so back over in our data set, I've got a couple of different options here. I could do favorite game type. I could do frequency playing. I could do device. I'm going to do gender. Okay, so that one's fine. Now, when you select a qualitative variable, okay, you need to make sure that your data is not all the same. If everything under gender here was male, then that's going to make a very boring bar chart. Okay, I'm just going to have one bar. Okay, so you need things that are different. Okay, this the same way though, you need to make sure things are the same sometimes. Okay, so in other words, if I was going to use that soccer one that I looked at a second ago, and uh, I could not use name, okay, because that's a label, okay? So this one right here, if I was to try to make a graph with name, it's gonna suck, okay? Because apparently I've got one name that happens twice, but this is a terrible bar graph, right? You can't even see all of the names, okay? So when you are choosing a qualitative variable, you want some of the data to be the same, you want it to be the same sometimes, and you want it to be different sometimes, okay? So you can't have it all be different or all the same, okay? But if you only have two things, like just male and female, like that's fine, okay? That's perfectly fine. This one here, I've got daily several times a year. Yeah, so I could use any of these for my column. Okay, so in my Google's document, so I chose gender. Okay. Oh, I forgot to ask. I wanted to know what kind of data sets did you guys pick? So I picked the video game one. What did you guys pick? What are what jumped out for you? It seemed cool.
Pick
Um,
the
it-
superhero one.
Superhero one, yeah, Superhero one's good. What else?
I use Starbucks.
Starbucks. Oh, nice. Thanksgiving, movie budgets, and box office earnings, superheroes. Okay, great. I was just curious. So, um, movies. Yeah. Okay, so question number 4. Create a frequency bar chart of this first qualitative variable. We'll do graph, bar plot with data, and then we're going to paste it below. Okay. All right. So in StatCrunch, you're going to hover over graph. You don't have to click on it. If you just hover over it, this will pop up. And then we'll do bar plot with data. Okay, and with data, you actually do have to click on. So you're going to hover over graph and then bar plot, and then you're going to click on with data, and that'll bring up this view. Okay. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose the column that you had selected. So I chose gender. Okay. And then the last thing, so there's a whole bunch of different options here. We're not going to use any of those. We'll do value above bar. So there's a checkbox right here. If you don't check that one, I'm not going to mark you off. But it makes things look nice. So I'm going to hit compute. Okay. And there it is. There's my bar chart. Okay. Apparently I did have a third category I didn't see, so male, female, and other. Okay. Um, and so now that I've got this, I'm going to paste this into my Google document. Now, if you chose a column, if you chose a column of data that has a lot of categories, so I have just three, male, female, and other, but if you have a lot of categories, like over 20, your bar chart's going to look crazy. And so you might want to consider choosing a different one. Okay. Um, if you have 20 categories, like 20 different bars, that's probably fine. Okay. Part of my job as a data analyst is not just, looking at the data. No, 12's not too many. So 20 bars is probably the limit. Okay. Because once you get out to 20 bars, you can't read the labels, you can't read the numbers. 12's probably fine. But yeah, so part of my job as a data analyst is not just to look at data, but it's also to present that data and make it look nice and make it look understandable. So there are times where I would take this and I would then have to do a bunch of stuff to make it look better so that, it's more readable because I don't want a CEO to have to look at this and be like, male, female, I don't know what this is. Is this showing me male and female for, you know, applicants to my company? Is it, what is this? So, uh, I wouldn't even guess that this is video games because we actually have more female answering the survey than male. So that's cool. That's good to see. So I would want to make sure I have a title. I'd want to make sure that my numbers are readable. So I'd probably want this to be 9 comma 384, 9,000. So, but anyway, that all said, I don't need to do that today. All I want is this bar chart. So there's three ways that we can copy this into our Google Doc. So the first way is you can use a snipping tool. So if you're using a Windows machine, you can search for snipping tool, and here it is. And I use this. I love the snipping tool. You'll see that it's actually pinned to my taskbar here. So um, you'll hit New, and then it'll turn your mouse into a plus. So you'll go to the upper left corner, and you'll click and hold the mouse down and you'll drag it down to the other corner and then you'll let go of the mouse and here it is. Here's my picture. Okay. And then you can right click and copy it. But the nice thing about the snipping tool is it will actually copy it already. When you make that screenshot, it'll automatically copy it to your clipboard. So coming back over here to my Google document, number 4, I can just right click and paste my bar graph. Okay. There it is. Now, if you're on a Mac, there's a different tool. It's probably not the snipping tool. It might be Snagit, but every computer is going to have some kind of snipping tool. Now, if that doesn't work for you, there's two other options. One
For
is
newer Windows, to get to the snipping tool, you can actually just press print screen.
nice, love it. How did I get to the snipping tool? So I searched for snipping. And there it was. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't want to use the snipping tool, that's fine. I use the snipping tool all the time. But what you can do instead is you can click on Options and then Copy. Now that doesn't copy it. That just pops out a picture that you can then right click and copy, or you can hit Control C. So you right click, copy that, and you can paste that now. Okay. The last option is you can go to Options and Download. Okay, you got to name it something. So, and then that will download it into your Downloads folder. Okay, so here it is. I can open up my Downloads folder. Here you can see all the stuff that I've downloaded. And I'll open that and I can right click and copy, or I can Control C and copy that to my clipboard and then paste it back over in my Google document. Okay. Um, so Nina, so if you have lots of unique numeric values, uh, you probably want to choose a different column. I would consider choosing one with words. So like if I had been using Jersey number. We mentioned earlier that Jersey number is a qualitative variable. But if I had tried to make a graph with Jersey number, well, there's 100 numbers, right? So it's going to be over that 20 limit that I suggested. So here you can see that it put them in groups. So this is numbers from 0 to 5, 10 to 15, and this is not what I'm looking for. Okay. So I would prefer, I wonder if you can do it without. Yeah. So if I don't bin them, I get this crazy graph. This is horrible. Okay. So yeah, you probably want to, if you're using a number column as qualitative, you might want to choose one with words. Okay. So I'd be better off using position or team. That would probably work better. Yeah, that looks way better. So okay. Uh, all right. So now that I've done that, I don't need this anymore. I can hit my X and close that. Now, when you close it, it's not gone forever. Up here on the left, you can see this number 1. It says that I have one result hidden, and it's the one that I closed a second ago. So if you ever close something in StatCrunch, it's not gone. You can get back to it. Okay. Um, okay, cool. So now that I've got that, let's see, what's the next question? Next question. Number 5, create a relative frequency bar chart of the same qualitative variable and paste it below. Okay, I can do that. So to do that, we're going to go to graph, bar plot with data, and I want the same one. So I was using gender. Okay, so I'm going to use the same one. The only thing I'm going to change is instead of frequency under type, I'm going to change it to relative frequency. Okay. And I'll hit compute, and it looks the same. Male, female. So it's the same graph. Well, what did I do wrong? Why is it the same graph? Is it is is it supposed to be the same graph or not? That's a question for you guys.
It should be because the proportions didn't change. You're just looking at
Yeah,
it from a percentage standpoint.
correct. The only thing that changed is my y-axis here is now not measuring things in thousands, it's measuring things in percent. So I don't have 9,000 female, I have 53% of the survey responses were female. So yeah, so you're going to get the exact same graph. It's going to be the same picture, just with the numbers changed, okay? Because basically what a relative frequency is it's taking your frequency, which is your count, and dividing by the total. And since you're dividing, the total is the same for everything, you're dividing each of them by the same number, you're going to get the same view, okay? Okay, but
Mine
now,
changed to colorful.
what's that? Oh,
My
you changed to
graph
purple, yeah.
changed to
Yeah, so if you click on
colorful.
one of them, yeah, if you click on one of them, you'll get some, pretty pink. Oh goodness, now I've got all pink. In the lower left-hand
I just
corner,
didn't know if
there's,
that was normal because mine
oh,
originally was blue and then it changed to
yeah,
all
yeah,
different colors.
yeah. So you clicked on one of the
Oh,
bars, which is fine. In the lower left-hand corner, there's a clear button, and if you click on clear, you'll be back to here. But if you want, one to be pink, I guess you want female to be pink and male to be blue. I'm fine with that. If you send it to me with blues and pinks, I'm not worried about it. That's
the
fine.
size of mine also changed.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you can change the size. You can shrink it or grow it however you want. I'm not worried about that either.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my snipping tool again and click and drag. Now, the one thing about the snipping tool is, I got a couple of the like edges of the box. Oh, and I grabbed the options too. So that's fine. I'm not super worried about that. So did I choose the one within category or without? Did I choose the one within category or without? Um, so I'm using the same category. So if you didn't actually have to even do that, you could have in your normal frequency one, you could go to options, edit, and then in the selection here, I changed my type to relative frequency. Did that answer your question, Stephanie? So options, edit, relative frequency. So here's my relative frequency. All right, so I'm gonna copy this, paste it into my Google document for number 5. There we go. All right, cool. All right, number 6. Choose a second qualitative variable to make a pie chart with. Oh, gross, pie chart. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Which variable did you choose? So, yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the pie charts. Most data analysts are not. Okay, so I need to pick a different one. I'm gonna do favorite game type. Favorite game type. Okay. Um, yeah, there's a reason why. So humans are very good at judging the area of rectangles, the relative area between two rectangles. You're able to do that, just at a subconscious level. Humans are not good with judging the area of circles or triangles, which is exactly what pie charts are. So it's hard to tell relative sizes. Now that said, there's a donut chart which is a little bit better. It turns the pie wedges into more rectangle shaped things. It's still not great, but now that all said, humans do like rounded shapes though. So looking at a pie chart is a little more comforting. It's a little warmer than a bar graph. So I guess it's fine, but I try to avoid pie charts when I can. I like pie, just not pie charts. Okay, so I'm going to create a pie chart. Do select graph pie chart with data. So graph pie chart with data. I'll click on that. It's going to ask me which one I want. I got to scroll down a little bit to get to favorite game type. I'm not going to change any of my options. I'll just hit compute. And there's my very colorful pie chart. Okay. Now, again, if you have more than 20 categories, your pie chart's going to look crazy, and you might want to consider switching it to a different column. Okay. So like, if I did the jersey number again, it's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. So it's not a helpful pie chart. So anyway, now if you only have 2 categories, that's fine. Pie charts are great when you have just 2 categories, maybe 3, but once you hit like more than that, it starts not being as good a chart as a bar graph. So I'm going to do new, snip, grab this, and I'll paste that into number 7. Okay. Yeah, so like I said a second ago, so humans are really good at telling the sizes of rectangles. These aren't rectangles; they're like wedges, right? They're pie pieces. So if I asked you which one is, if I don't have an option for a different one with less categories, yeah. So you're gonna need Emily. Yeah, if you have don't have another option, you might want to switch to a different data set. Which data set did you use, Emily? And is it okay if the pie chart has binned categories? No, I don't want binned categories. So binned means you're using numbers, and the World Cup, the FIFA one. So yeah, so if you're using the FIFA one, I would consider using team or position or club Any of those
I
would be
tried to do
good.
club, and that's what got crazy. And I did
Mhm.
position for my other one. I can try team.
Yeah, you can try team. Uh, so, um, yeah, what happens with club? Now you got me curious.
Yeah, it's every color in the rainbow.
Oh, there's a lot of clubs apparently. Hmm, okay, well, that's no good. Yeah, no one. So that's not going to be a helpful pie chart. So, um, okay. So what I was saying a second ago, though, is movie budget a good one? No, movie budget is a quantitative variable because you can add things together. Like if I add the three Star Wars budgets together, I can get the total cost of Star Wars. So that's not qualitative. Um, Same thing, I can compare them. I can say this one's more or less, this one costs more. So, um, you can do like the genre of the movie, or you could do like the director, you could do the studio. Those are all qualitative. Okay, so what I was saying a second ago though is if I was going to try to compare some of these wedges, uh, so year is not qualitative either, that's quantitative because I can do math on that. I can say this year minus this year tells me how far apart the two were, or this movie was created earlier or later than this one. So if I try to compare, for example, if I try to compare adventure to other, um, I can kind of see that the adventure one is bigger, right? I mean, I can use the number over here, but it's not easy to tell, okay? Same thing with like first person shooter and role playing games. It looks to me like role playing is slightly bigger. Um, but like if I compare this blue one here, real time strategy and sports, um, yeah, it's hard to tell which one is bigger, right? Even action compared to sports, I mean, the action one looks a little bit bigger, right? But it's more difficult to tell. On the other hand, if I had a bar chart of this, and you don't have to do this part, this is me just going off on a tangent. If I do a bar chart, it is much easier to tell. I can immediately tell that comparing real-time strategy and sports, I can immediately tell that real-time strategy is bigger. If I compare action and sports, even though they're on opposite sides of the bar chart, I can easily tell that action is bigger than sports. Versus here, action and sports are right next to each other, and action looks just I guess I can see that action is bigger, but it's much easier to tell on the bar chart. What else did I say? I said adventure versus other. Here's adventure, here's other. You can clearly see that adventure is bigger. Versus here, okay, you can see it, but it's much harder to tell. Okay. Um, that said, I'll get off my soapbox. Generally, uh, if you have the choice between a bar chart and a pie graph, bar chart is definitely the way to go. Okay. But I mean, pie charts are prettier. So, like I said earlier, people like to see rounded shapes. So, there's no easy answers. Um, all right, number eight. Let's move on with our lives. Choose a quantitative variable to make a histogram with. Which variable did you choose? Okay, so now you can use movie budget or year, things like that. So I need numbers now. So I'm going to use age for mine. I could do spent per year, but it doesn't look like spent per year is a continuous variable. It looks like, I've got like 100, 200, 300, but I don't have like $68.72. Okay, so because of that, I might avoid that. I'm going to do age. Uh, okay, so create a frequency histogram of this quantitative variable and paste it below. Okay. So we go to graph and histogram. So back over here in StatCrunch, we're going to hover over graph. We're going to go to histogram. And I have a lot less columns to choose from because StatCrunch knows that histograms have to be on quantitative number columns. So it's only giving me the 3 that are numbers, okay? I don't need any of these other options, so I'm just going to hit compute. And here's our histogram, okay? So one difference between a bar chart and a histogram is all the bars are next to each other. They're squished right up next to each other. And that's because they are right next to each other. This bar chart, this bar right here is all the people from 15 years old up to 20. And this bar right next to it is from 20 up to 25. So there's no space in between them, right? If you're 20 years old, you fall in this bar. If you're 19.999 years old, you'll fall in this bar, okay? So, yeah, so that's one way to tell if it's a histogram is if they're squished right up next to each other. All right, so I'm gonna copy this guy, just like that, okay? Or you could have done options, copy, and then right click and copy that one. And we'll put that into our question number 8 in our Google document, okay? All right, so that's our frequency histogram. And so one thing to note is you can't pick a column that's going to make it crazy for histograms because the options that they gave us, they made sure to only give us like 20 different buckets, okay? You can change that. So you can change the bins, you can change a bunch of different things in here, but you do have to be a little careful with histograms. If you have too many different buckets, or if you have too few, it can make your histogram look really weird, okay? So just be aware of that, okay? How many buckets do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 16. Okay, that sounds fine. Sorry. All right, number 10, create a relative frequency histogram of the same variable. Paste it below. All right. So I'll come back over here. Graph, histogram, and I'm doing age again, but now instead of the type frequency, I want the type relative frequency, okay? And all that's going to do is it's going to take each of my totals, and it's going to divide by the total, sorry, it's going to take each of my frequencies, each of my counts for my bar, it's going to divide by the total, and I'm going to get the same view. It's the same looking graph, okay, with just one change. The y-axis is now percents. So instead of this being, 3,000 people, now it's 48% of my gamers fall between 15 and 20 years old, okay? All right, so going to copy this. So, there we go. And put that in my number 10. Okay. All right, excellent. All right, and our last one, number 11. So, does your quantitative data appear to be skewed left, skewed right, or symmetric? Okay. So, that guy, this one, yeah, here it is. So if you were to connect all of these up, with some kind of line, make some kind of shape like this. It's not quite, but whatever. So if I have this mountain here, and I'm at the top of this mountain here, here's me, okay, on my skis. Would I want to ski to the left or would I want to ski to the right? Okay. That's the way I like to think of skew. I wouldn't want to ski to the left. I'd fall off a cliff, right? So I'd want to ski to the right. It's still a pretty steep mountain, but I'd rather ski to the right. So this is skewed right. Okay. Um, on the other hand, if uh, both sides look very similar, okay, they don't have to look exactly the same, but if both sides look similar to each other, then that would be symmetric, okay? Um, so skewed left and skewed right, those have actual math reasons why we call them that, right? Skewed right means the mean is on the right of the median. It also might mean that there's some outliers that are on the right-hand side of your graph. So in this case, it's because the tail is to the right. Okay, the tail of the data is where it kind of tapers off like this. Okay, on the left-hand side, it drops off very drastically. That's not a tail. Okay, tail is a slow curve out to the right. Okay, so mine skewed right. Did anybody get skewed left or symmetric even?
I got skewed left.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. Did anybody get skewed right as well, along with me?
I did.
Yeah,
I did as well.
yeah, that's normal. So, okay, cool. So now that we have finished this project, we just need to turn it in. So back in Canvas, if I scroll to the bottom, I could upload it as a PDF, but I don't want to do that. The easier way is to post it as a web URL. Okay. So what you'll do is in your Google Sheet, you don't want this. Okay. What you'll do is you go to the upper right-hand corner and you click on share. Okay. Because you need to share this with me. So first of all, you need to change the access to anyone with the link. Because if you just post the URL for me, I'm not going to have access because it's restricted. You can't just go into other people's Google documents and look at them. Okay. You certainly can't go in and mess with them. So you're going to click on this drop down. After you click on share, you're going to click on this drop down and change it to anyone with the link. And then you're going to click on copy link. And then we'll copy it to your clipboard, which is some magical place inside the computer, right? And then you'll come over here and right click and paste, or you can hit Control V, and it's going to paste this long, crazy thing, but that's what I want. Okay. And then you'll hit submit assignment, and we should get confetti. Yay! We did it. Okay. Um, okay, and so again, that was, oops, what I wanted to do. Share, uh, change this to anyone with a link, and yeah, I already closed it accidentally. So, and then copy your link. Okay. In the chat, sorry for going back, but I used pie chart fats, which provide fats per age. Is that okay? So
Only because you just said that you rather want words than numbers on the pie chart.
yes.
And because I'm using facts as a data,
Mhm.
will that be not sufficient? Because otherwise I'm gonna have to
So
repeat.
yeah, so I'll take a look at it in a second. So let me just wrap up here and then we'll take a look at it. I can look at your screen and everything.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that what you have is fine because if you have fats for your pie chart and then fats per age as your histogram, that sounds fine. But anyway, so uh the last thing I wanted to say is make sure you go and do the lecture notes. Try to do those before tomorrow because Elaine and Cindy are going to be using those lecture notes to go over worksheets on Wednesday, tomorrow. And then I will see you on Thursday for our Chapter 2 review, okay? If you're not able to attend Tuesday or Thursday, I will be sending out a remind message for discussion boards, okay? And then the last thing to say, and then we'll call it a night, is if you're still not able to get on the StatCrunch, stay on the call. Nina, stay on the call. I'll take a look at what you've got. On the chapter 2 review, if you're listening on the recording, we're just going to give you some hints. Okay. If you come to the class, we'll do the entire chapter 2 review together. But today you lucked out. We did the entire project together on the recording, so you're able to follow along. But most of the time, that's not how we'll be running things. So anyway, I'm going to stop the recording, and everybody have a good night, unless you're sticking around to work on some StatCrunch stuff.